Hello and welcome to Notes from a Small, Cold, Dark, Miserable Island. This year, we are very thankful that the sun came out at all in London. We are your hosts and guides. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
Matt?
Yes.
Where should we begin here?
Well, at the end of last episode, we said, hey, Thanksgiving is coming. The turkey's getting fat. And so you wanted to sort of just touch on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You were on a plane on Thanksgiving Day.
That's right. I was on a impromptu, sort of a little bit last-second trip back to the homeland again.
Semi-promptu.
Twice in a month for work this time, which maybe in the future we'll talk a little bit more about the results of that. But yeah, it did result from me being in Tennessee in Thanksgiving week. Being very thankful for the lovely moonshine that they brew there and
for
all
real
the whiskey. Well, you know, on Wednesday night, obviously the traditional drinking night of the American holiday calendar.
You hit mom's house and go straight out.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite
with your old high school friends.
But me and my colleague were done with work. You know, we had done all the tough stuff. We drove around Appalachia, taking pictures of decrepit old barns.
Just out there exploiting.
And white nationalist statues in the middle of the forest.
That's right.
I sent you a picture of
that
one.
Weird.
I'll have to explain that. That's a story for another time. So we were just like, yeah, let's go out to the bar. We're in this sort of tiny college town. We're like, yeah, let's go. And I drank a bunch of whiskey. I mean, that's basically it. The end of the story. I had the Thanksgiving hangover like everybody else.
Fantastic.
Except I had to get on the plane the next day.
Wow. And had to, coat the hangover with airline food instead of some fantastic homemade stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it was not good. But I did host for the British people a Thanksgiving 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
The Saturday, the traditional Saturday British Thanksgiving.
Yep, observe it as soon as you can.
We've done this before, years ago, I think.
Sorry, I had to work.
So, hey, invite stands. We'll get you next year. You were just working.
Yeah, I was just going to work. Nodded to a couple other expats at work, and we're like, "Hey, it's Thanksgiving."
Did anybody wish you Happy Thanksgiving? That was a British person.
That
wasn't your wife,
definitely happened. Yeah, British people who are aware of my nationality did.
That's good.
It's because they had been receiving Black Friday ads on their feed all day, and so they knew what was up.
Black Friday has definitely been imported. It used to be in this country that it would actually be difficult. I think probably people still don't really sort of get. You probably get questions like, "Do you get presents?" or like, "What should I bring?"
Right.
Because I got to bring the great pumpkin or whatever. They have this sort of weird pop culture sort of thing about it. But it used to be more difficult. Even so, I sent my lovely wife out to get the turkey, and she struggled to find one. She eventually did find a frozen turkey. They're still just not very popular until like the week before Christmas. It used to be you'd have to actually find a butcher. There was a butcher in Hammersmith who catered specifically to Americans, and I'm assuming others dotted around other places in London.
Yeah.
And that's where you'd have to source quite an expensive turkey, to be honest, for your Thanksgiving festivities.
But Mike, is it even worth it? At the end, is it worth it, that turkey's life?
Yeah, well...
Sorry. Just to put it down, my relationship with Thanksgiving, didn't observe it this year, have not observed it. I'm an anti-NFL vegetarian, so yeah, that's going to throw
What do you participate in on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
What are you allowed to participate in?
In my idealistic, in my 20s, Thanksgiving used to be my favorite. I used to declare it. I naively, I was like, "Oh, it's a family gathering. It's based on like gratitude and love, and it's not tied to gifts,
right.
and it's ostensibly secular compared to Christmas." But then, the veil was lifted, and I realized like it had become more about Black Friday and like, all right, nation, here is the state of commerce this year. Here's how we feel about the economy based on how many of you are knocking down the doors at Walmart. And also like, a personal reckoning with genocide.
The whole Native American undertones are like,
the fall smiths and
what's that word? What's that word they all use these days? Problematic.
It's be problematic. And then moving over here twice, the hassle of observance in another country, and I don't personally cook all that well or that often. So, but this is the thing for like the purpose of our show, Mike. I mean, like moving to a different country invariably means separation from family and from prior customs, if not downright estrangement. Am I right? So like a traditionally family-based holiday is likely to be tough for an American in England to observe. And so it does become sort of fetishized as like, hey, this pub is offering an air quotes authentic Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Or you do a Friendsgiving and you gather together all your expat friends, or you like teach the English about cranberries in a can or green bean casserole.
Yeah. Neither of which I banish, but both those. I see.
You got to get the crunchy onions, man. You can't just go. You got to get the soup. You got to go to the Whole Foods.
I don't know, man. This soup thing. I guess the cranberries in a can that you can actually slice the jellied cranberries. I have a little bit of a.
Oh, it's not good. It's part of it.
But still, I don't do this. I enjoy the cooking element. That's the thing. And I think even if I didn't eat the turkey, I would be happy to cook.
Nice.
Just you have a whole day. You just like, all right, hang up the phone, put not the Christmas music on. It's too early. It's too early.
For me, that was my observance of Thanksgiving. I started playing Christmas music for my daughter.
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So you cook on Saturday? What turned out best, or what was a big hit?
The turkey turned out good, which slightly disappointed me because like a supermarket turkey is just as good as the very expensive turkey from the Hammersmith butcher. You basically got ripped off for years on that one. What else? The side dishes, they're just good. They're just very simple,
Okay.
The stuffing, cranberry sauce, some roasted squash. That was a little bit less good this year. The mashed potatoes, name some other things.
Green beans.
My son made macaroni and cheese.
Oh, straight up.
Yeah, so it was actually nice because it was like I just came in from Tennessee. We would never have macaroni and cheese around the table.
Okay. It's not unheard of.
It's not unheard of. I associate it with the South.
Yeah.
At Thanksgiving.
That's why he was welcoming you home. You're like, hey, Dad, I know you're hungover off that moonshine.
He had he made a great recipe. Yeah. So that was the highlight.
That's lovely. Your son is getting into foodism.
He is. He's cooking. He has a fusion cooking of American and British.
Not
Poor kid.
the most popular. We'll do a food episode though, and
yeah, we'll get him to cook
get him in
stuff for him. He doesn't speak. I mean, he's a teenager.
That's right. He just grunts.
pretty bad for a podcast. Sorry, we still love him. Yeah, so that was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I
did a little Googling. I was like, hey, is there anything convenient to me for a drop-in pub thing? And I was like, I'm not gonna give you 75 pounds for.
Really? That's the going rate.
No, not the going rate. I mean, just like a one that I found and instantly gave up. I was like, it's not gonna happen this year.
It sounds so much like they are trying to capitalize on homesickness in a Black Friday type capitalistic way.
100%.
But again, years and years ago, there wouldn't be any acknowledgement to that, right? Cultures of the world are much more accessible, including our own, in Britain and other places.
Yeah. Well, especially our own as it aggressively colonizes the city.
Yeah. I'm sure many of you out there had some Friendsgivings, turkeys. Right. I think we're ready for a new recurring feature.
Ooh, is this the one that I shouted out to you?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick then. I'm just going to drop this one. We're going to call this one for now Relevant Recos. And this is recommendations of cultural artifacts, movies, plays, music, important journalism stories. That's more Mike's thing because he reads. That potentially should appeal to intercontinentals such as ourselves. English living in America, Americans living in English. So I have a television program to recommend. It's not like a deep cut or anything, but once in a while a program comes along and it makes you say, maybe I won't cancel Netflix just yet. And for me, one such program is The Diplomat on Netflix. Now, we've just completed, my wife and I, its 4th season. It's sort of rapidly plowed through 4 seasons in, I think, 4 years. Now, this is the story of a former, I believe, CIA operative, played by Kerry Russell of The Americans fame, and, of course, Felicity, if you remember that hairdo, who becomes ambassador to the United Kingdom. And the show features a lot of classy talent, especially my wife's longtime, what do you call it, hall pass? What do you call it? Like when there's a celebrity and your spouse has them on a list. Should they drop in today?
Oh, geez, what's
then
the phrase?
we're allowed to, go to the back room. Anyway, Rufus Sewell. Shout out to Rufus. He's dynamite. As an American, English actor playing.
I feel like we might have to cut that. Jeez.
No, she'll appreciate it.
All right.
Allison Janney, Rory Kinnear. Shout out to Georgie Henley. So this show is it's a bit of international intrigue. Some of the makers, were previously working on Homeland. Some West Wing style competence porn, which is a phrase I learned about last year, which is just like a show in which professional people talk fast and do their jobs really well. Competence porn. Look it up. And also a bit of like, country estate decor and like, oh, look at the, a little bit of post Downton.
Do they?
Yeah, the ambassador's home
out in and the ambassador's home.
Right, and you're like, oh, look at this beautiful English estate.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, the show it's often ridiculous, but it's for a show that's very high stakes, it's often very low stakes. It's fun. It's often very funny, full of charisma and actors with great chops. And basically just like, what if the special relationship got a little bit sticky between the U.S. and the U.K.? I recommend it. The Diplomat.
Gosh, I can't imagine that happening. Can you?
Yeah, I can imagine it.
The Diplomat. All right, so you binged this.
Yeah, we every time that a new season drops, we just devour it.
How many seasons?
Four seasons. They're all like
commitment?
8 to 10 episodes. It's
right.
Pretty. Yeah. If you're gonna sit down and do an hour of TV a night, there are more difficult things.
I'll give it a whirl.
But there's a strong veneer of class. Like it's well executed.
Class in the British sense.
No, well,
no, you mean class like it's classy show.
It's classy show.
Oh, okay.
It's a class. This ain't no junk. It's good people involved. Good writing. I find.
I've just gone native here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was just like, what spoon do they use?
So that's my relevant reco for the week.
Middle class.
Something that involves American and English people at the same time.
Okay, so my relevant reco here is going to be sort of old school here, but I feel like I need to sort of mention it out front because it's something that I'm going to refer to time and time again. It is a bit old. In fact, it's very old, but it's a book. And the book is called Watching the English by the anthropologist Kate Fox. Now, I recommended this to you.
And I listened to half of it.
You listened to half of it. It is very long, and you probably got the gist, right, by halfway through. So no shade on that, seriously. But I think it probably should be issued to anybody moving to this country, like literally anyone, Americans, Romanians, whoever, just to get a sense of... So Kate Fox, like I say, she's an anthropologist and she studies English people. She is English. She studies English people as if they were foreigners and does weird experiments where she sort of stands outside tube stations and sort of counts how many times people say sorry. It's a very good insight. And it should be issued to all incomers in this country. In fact, my wife, she would buy it for all of her foreign employees.
No kidding.
At one point. It's a little bit outdated now. Like I say, it's maybe like nearly 15 years old. And so
she did a update, like a bit of a smartphone update, but
yeah, it doesn't
she needs to
really
do it now,
get into the
post-COVID
social
update now.
media. Yeah, there needs to be there's post-COVID and how that has changed our mores and folkways and social media, of course, because I mean, British people on social media have just like taken it to a new fucking level. They're just they're just outrageous. I mean, what are they doing on there?
I don't know specifically what you're outraged about their outrage, but
I mean, it's lovely, but it's bonkers too. I don't know. I basically just been reading all the British boards on Reddit, as you know, because I keep sending them to you.
You're a good Reddit scourer. Do you wanna pivot to that topic?
I think. Well, okay. Listen, we either have to talk about news or we have to talk about visas.
Yeah.
What do you want to do first? I'll give you the choice.
Let's be ambitious and try to do both. Let's hit the news real quick.
Right. This deserves to be sort of like headline for a podcast like ours. I've got a story here up from the Columbus Dispatch, the biggest newspaper in Ohio, right? Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno introduces bill to ban dual citizenship. Here we go. Thus, we see the obvious practical implications here. Moreno, an Ohio Republican, introduced legislation that would require Americans to exclusively be U.S. citizens.
Pick a side,
right?
Says Bernie.
Current law allows people to maintain citizenship with the United States and another country, provided that country permits it. Moreno is originally from Colombia and immigrated to the United States with his family as a child. He became a U.S. citizen and renounced his Colombian citizenship when he turned 18. The dispatch does not specify, but I'm assuming that is because of the law in Colombia, not in the United States, would not have required him to renounce his Colombian citizenship unless he just did it by choice.
It could be, if I can just get a quick shot off, a quick partisan shot off. Bernie Moreno is a real piece of shit. I was very, sad to see my home state elect him over lovely Sherrod Brown. Bernie is on that crooked businessman to politics pipeline. A lot of his businesses were very, labor crushing. And he, rode to the Senate on, Ohio's generations of erosion of public education and labor power. So I am not surprised that he's now trying to, curry favor with the xenophobes and the maggots.
WTF. Moreno's bill, I'm just calling him moron. Moron's bill would give dual citizens a year to renounce either their U.S. or foreign citizenship.
Or else,
I don't know, man.
You'll be
what's the penalty here?
You'll be greeted by a thumb-shaped white guy with a face covering.
It says the current policy, quote, may create conflicts of interest and divided loyalties. Right. Here's the kicker, last line. It remains to be seen whether the proposal has legs, but it could affect the White House if enacted.
Why is that?
First Lady Melania Trump and Baron Trump hold citizenship in the United States and Slovenia.
Yeah.
I suspect this is going nowhere.
Yeah, I think this is performative.
Yeah. Fortunately, hopefully something we do not have to worry about.
But, yeah. So, let me just keep pivoting then. Dual citizenship, that is one way to go for our friends, for our intercontinentals. You have dual citizenship,
I have dual
right?
citizenship, yeah. Yeah, obtained some time ago when it was a lot cheaper, probably easier. But
do you want to tell your story, Mike? Do you want to introduce this another new segment?
Yeah, this is our second recurring segment.
We're just going to dropping them left and right.
The more you have, the more you can just cycle through as they become outdated.
Yeah.
Whatnot. these are evergreen.
Yeah.
Great content.
Again, theoretically, someday in the future, guests will want to have this segment, which is do we have a name for it?
Yeah, visa stories.
What's your visa story?
It was like dramatic. We need also stings. Visa story.
Visa stories, the story of how you got your visa.
I have one very specific visa story that I'm going to tell, and because it's long ago, it's boring, it's bureaucratic. However, this very funny thing happened to me. Over the years of processes of renewing the indefinite leave to remain, getting the citizenship. I was at the last stage, maybe the penultimate stage. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Go to the office.
The embassy, or
no? It was weirdly some sort of council office somewhere in London.
Okay.
It was like the nearest one to where I was living in West London, but it wasn't anywhere near where I lived.
You try to put a year on this, just because things have changed over time in governments.
It had to be, let's see, it had to be around 2005 or so, 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking a good 20 years ago. But I have this distinct memory.
Okay.
It was somewhere in sort of southwest London. I bring my paperwork in, check through all the things, bank statements, documents, passports. It's all fine. Oh, one thing. You are going to need proof that you speak English.
Proof.
And I'm like, well, I'm here.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog? What do you want me to say?
I'm fluent. Yeah, I'm sorry. We need a legal document proving that you speak English. Now, mind you, at this time, I was already working for our nation's broadcaster as one of the guardians of the English language, right? Like, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if I regularly at that point appeared on air, but certainly,
yeah,
I could.
You were a wordsmith by trade.
I could prove that I spoke. And it's like, sorry, sir, we can't accept anything like this. You're going to have to go to a solicitor and get them to write you a letter. And what do they call it when they have that special stamp? Notarized, yeah.
A notary.
Thinking like
public.
franked or like, waxed or whatever.
Depending on what era.
And it just so happens that there's a solicitor, notary, whatever, across the street.
Yeah.
So I walked over across the street to the lawyer's office, and I gave them, I believe it was like 20 or 30 pounds.
This is a side hustle for
I
this
know,
particular
right?
council office.
Right. Oh, so clearly. And they were like, they just sort of sniggered a little bit and gave me the stamped letter, and then I walked back across the street.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, thank you. I got my
spurious.
I got my whatever visa it was
at that time.
That is my visa story.
One of many, because I eventually will want to. I guess anytime we don't have a guest, we can fill in with a little bit of our own personal visa stories.
Yeah, I want to talk to some famous people. I mean, just like if you're like Lena Dunham or Beth Ditto, and you just move over here, you got to have a visa. And then you just got to show up. And then you got to prove it, whatever, like anybody other.
But
any
this
other
is
civilian.
This is the thing. Now there are literal financial thresholds. Now it's like, show us the money or you can't come in. Like, I think we said this on the pilot. Like, if I had married my wife nowadays and wanted my spousal visa, I wouldn't be allowed to have it because I ain't got the money in the bank, which has now become a requirement.
Yeah, geez. And you can imagine these people are like looking into bank accounts of notable people,
sure,
or just average people, and making fine judgments about them.
I don't give a shit about judgments. It's more about like, really, this is what we're doing.
I don't want these people judging me.
So, Mike, do you? Sorry, bad transition. Good story. Do you want to talk about phrases of irrational anger, or how much time do we got?
Oh, yeah. We may as well finish off with one of these things. This was the
something you scoured from Reddit.
This is the big brains of Reddit. American Expats UK. R dash American Expats UK. Right?
I need to start following these things.
You know, I think I've changed as a person because I never used to look at Reddit. Now I'm like quite a regular Reddit user. I suppose like obviously everywhere else is swamped by either Nazis or insufferable libs.
Yeah.
In terms of social media or just boomer bait, Facebook. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, we can insult all of them.
I know. And like Reddit's the worst. Reddit's worse than any of them.
Is it? I don't know. Just don't use it. I
only don't know.
Use
I know.
when I need some very specific information from a specific subculture, and then a search engine will get me there. But what? So you found
r/American Expats UK,
and they did some content mining.
What British English phrase do you irrationally dislike? And this person says, I generally like British English over American English for most things. For some reason, though, the phrase dipped headlights irrationally annoys me. Sounds weird, and I refuse to say it.
I don't know that one. Is that a driving?
Dipped headlights. Yeah, I guess that. So that is when you take your brights off, right?
Okay.
So you're driving down the country lane, and the car comes,
right.
And you sort of
a country lane that is 1 meter wider than the average car.
Right.
And so you have to drive into
no
the middle of a
limit,
field so
like
that you can
70,
let somebody else pass.
And everyone's going 70 down there. Yeah. That's the place.
That thing.
But you don't want to dazzle the person, so you dip your headlights.
Dip them.
Just put them back down to normal rather than the brights.
Okay. We could do seriously, Mike. Just bookmarking. We could do a whole episode on annoying phrases or awesome phrases because I've already started. Like I've got
a list.
I got another list of just we should do pronunciation bowl, where we talk about whose pronunciations are more annoying or whose are more correct, just on individual words and phrases. But this is different. This is more turns of phrases,
and it is irrational. I mean, some of them do really. Irritate me. Aluminium, I'm fine. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Use that aluminium foil or whatever. But some of them are like taco.
Oh, you're talking about the inability to
pronunciation
to pronounce a soft vowel sound like taco, or when Obama first emerged
taco.
And they couldn't. They were like Barack Obama and like, oh, you guys, why can't you?
The word taco really gets. All right, but this is about phrases, right?
Right.
This is not about pronunciation.
Oh, wait, Tupac. That's my number one. Sorry, just to interrupt. Tupac Shakur, and I was like, you motherfuckers.
I have a funny story. It's a little bit apocryphal. I wasn't in the room. However, I have it on good authority that there was a commissioning editor for a very large broadcaster who was listening to a pitch that had been written down about a famous hip-hop star, and consistently in the meeting referred to that star as Jay-Zed.
Oh, man, you got me with that one, Jay-Zed. Oh, I love it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm
Jay-Zed. I can't rhyme the end of the alphabet song.
Yeah. So the phrase that here's just a few that people have thrown out there. Drink driving.
Yeah, bad.
For drunk driving.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, yeah, I agree, except drugged driving. No, wait. No, drug driving. They say drug driving instead of drugged driving.
Okay.
I don't know what you say in America. It's just like you're stoned or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there a phrase for it? Driving under the influence of the tweeds.
This is one that I probably share this pet peeve. It's like, I'll just read it out. An Indian, as in, let's get an Indian for dinner tonight instead of let's order Indian food for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Or let's order out for Indian, whatever.
Problematic.
Yeah. And then obviously somebody's quipping, I could murder an Indian.
Wow. some.
Or they call it an something.
Yeah.
A McDonald's. Swimming costumes.
Yeah. And this is where we get into like also insufferable abbreviations, like referring to your swimming kazi or just your kazi, in that sort of like icky, sweet thing of like referring to breakfast as brekkie.
Brekkie. There's a whole sub-thread on here. I've read it all. That is about the insufferable abbreviations and a debate about whether people actually use them in real life.
Or they do it ironically.
And come to think of it, I'm like, well, yeah, like, it's hard to sort of remember somebody like coming across it in the wild. The classic one that I do remember that it looks like was authentic was that Cosy Lives. You know Cosy Lives?
What?
Okay, cost of living crisis. So this thing went viral where some woman was selling on Depop or
Vinted or something.
Something like that. Yeah. And then there was this back and forth where they were like, "Oh, could you do 15 pounds?" And she's like, "No, sorry, babes. Cosy lives in it." It looked authentic.
Yeah.
Could have been made up.
Right.
It was posted, went viral, and then it became known as the Cosy Lives.
Cosy lives in it.
Mostly, probably by TV workers in their 30s who like get meal deals as they go into their Soho production houses, right?
But then it's something like that. Then it starts out as a joke, but then becomes shorthand.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a whole thing on here about how real that is and whether people really say the word hollybobs.
Ugh. Crimbo.
Crimbo. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm feeling a little queasy right now.
Crimbo pud. Right.
Jeez, I wanted to share one, if I could, Mike,
yeah,
just for our friends / listeners. It's a sort of cautionary / inspirational tale where you live in a culture and you hear a phrase and you hate it until you find yourself unconsciously using it.
Okay.
Albeit, hopefully, maybe you're using your own cadence or putting your own spin on it. And again, just to reiterate the legend of me, I lived here for 3 years. I moved back to the States for 10, and now I'm back here for 4 years, probably permanently. The 1.0 of my London living, my irrational phrase of anger was being greeted with, "Are you all right?" ?
Yeah.
Which right. You all right? As a sort of hello. And I would have a couple different reactions to this because in the States, if you just come upon someone and you ask, "Are you all right?" that is an expression of alarm.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my God, have you just been hit by a car?" Or like, "What's wrong with you?" In that sort of way, like, what's that old movie trope where somebody comes in the room and somebody says, "You look like shit." That nobody says. So if you were to see somebody in the States and be like, "Are you all right?" They'd be, So my frequent response in the early days, I'd be like, "Yeah, is there something on me or do I look ill? Like what's?" And no, it's just like, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you all right?" And now, over many years and workplaces, I find myself just being like, "Hey, Jonathan, you all right?" And so it's in my own cadence, but I'm saying those words.
Truly gone native.
A little bit.
They appreciate it.
I hope so.
The natives appreciate it.
Yeah.
You all right? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Worst day of my life. I'm all right.
Yeah. Dog just got run over.
You all right? Yeah.
All right.
Cuppa.
Oh, all that. I think we need to start bringing.
That's a good one.
Should bring some English people on here who have lived in America as well.
We are going to bring on a motley cast and crew here. I think we're going to do something before Christmas. Think we can do a pre-Christmas one?
Yeah, well,
for the end of the year.
I haven't. Yeah, I think so, Mike. Maybe. Yeah, definitely. You cut this part out where we're.
Yeah, we're obviously we're sort of
making plans.
Irregularly employed, I guess. Maybe that's the thing. I don't have much to do after next week. We'll see what happens. Right, great. Well, hey, look, that's kind of the end of episode 2.
But Mike,
but you got
just hold on. I just want
to
to make sure we don't have a theme song yet. And so I just wanted to see if maybe I could run something by you. You can cut this out if you want to. So here's my thought, just because I've been listening to some podcasts as sort of like background, like how do podcasts work. So I was thinking, we do a normal cold open, and we, sort of introduce our topics and say, like, this is what we're going to get to later. And then I'll say something like, but first, our friends from Pearl Jam. And then we play some music, and it goes like, mono mana mini mini, mono mana mini mini, mono mana mini mini, mono mana mini mini, mono. I did a pod today. Time for me to declarate my own independence from the states. Mono mana mini mini, mono mana mini mini. So I'm not about to Thanksgive, but I'll constantly and unnecessarily apologize. Because English people do be apologizing too much. Here we go. Filled out the forms, down, paid all the fees, bow. I'm an expat, extracted like yeast, just like Marmite, which I just ate.
You did not.
It's not very nice, but I'm acculturating. Big finish. Customs, so much easier. Customs, so much easier. I get through customs so much easier with my, check my levels, residence visa. Shout out to Eddie Vedder.
These get more elaborate every time.
That one got a little got a little long. There's just so many elements.
One of these days we'll just pick one for the theme song for sure.
We still and we've got the one in the hole too from the unaired pilot.
Yeah. We're gonna have to bring that.
Thanks for it. I noticed you checking my levels over there as I couldn't back away any further from the mic.
We're in a professional studio here. We'll mention them if we get a discount.
Let's go.
Great.
See you next time for the Christmas episode.
Yeah. Crimbo
with Rambo.
Awesome. Till next time.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye-bye.